Miller free throw. Point. Offensive rebound. Earlier this season, Marcus recorded only the third ever triple-double in his senior program history against Trinity Baptist. Marcus also has 3 double-doubles this year, has recorded 8 rebounds and made 1 basket in every game as a Wildcat, and has scored in double figures for his rebound. After graduation, Marcus plans to pursue a professional career or career in firefighting.
I only played 5 minutes. Yeah. Well, it is a packed house inside Moore Gymnasium for the final time this season as the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats get set to host longtime rivals, the Florida A&M Rattlers, with everything on the line. 1 year ago today, the Wildcats traveled to Tallahassee, Florida in the exact same position they are in right now, needing a win to get into the SWAC tournament. They could not get it done. Today, all the script has been reversed. They're at home, they're the favorites, but it's all about execution, Eric Dennis.
Oh, Mike, you're so right about that, but again, anytime when two rivals get together like this, you throw the records and the expectations and the history out the window. It will be a heavyweight slugfest tonight. Both teams are going to bring their A game, and we'll find out a couple hours from now who has at least one more point on the scoreboard and wins this game.
Cookman starts Harmon, Garrett, Davis, Robertson, and French. Good to see Dylan Robertson back in the starting lineup for the first time since the Grambling State game on the 7th of January.
Yeah, and James Henderson will be ready to come off the bench, who's been starting the second half of this season. He'll be ready to come off the bench and do what he can to help the Wildcats win.
The Wildcats win the tip. Kevin Davis takes it after a bit of a wild scramble, and we are underway. The fans are rowdy. The band is here. I don't think I've seen this place this packed all season long. It's Zion Harmon, the dynamite freshman. He dances against the Rattlers' top scorer, Jordan Tillman, throws it up for Dylan Robertson, who wanted to rock the rim with a dunk, but he's going to go to the free throw line instead. Yeah,
first foul of the game on Noah Marin, who came over on the help side to try and stop Dylan Robinson from dunking that. He accomplished that, but he picked up the foul in the process.
Marin from Providence, Rhode Island, and a transfer from Brown, so smart kid. High school ball at Moses Brown School in Providence. He averaged 21.4 points per game, but also passed the National Latin exam.
Carpe diem.
2-0 BCU.
E pluribus unum.
And then he played at Skidmore College and then 2 seasons at Brown University before transferring to Florida A&M.
Yeah, so Brown is in his home area as a reason, one of the reasons why he chose that, but obviously a very intelligent young man being able to pass Latin.
Garrett takes an elbow to the face, falls over, and Marin throws it down. Zion in transition for 3. It's good!
Beautiful play by Zion Harmon to recognize he was wide open for the 3 in transition. Smartly put it home.
And the Wildcats, for the first time in a long time, have really started their best 5 available players, with Robinson returning fully from injury. And I'm not sure what they're going to call. Going to call a push on Marcus.
Yeah, FAMU very aggressive on the dribble attack against our man-to-man defense. Let's hope that it doesn't cause us any foul trouble. Clock resets, shot clock to 20.
5-2 early on the Zion Harmon triple in transition. That's the difference in the game right now. Tillman backs down Garrett, misses short. Offensive rebound, Bates. From the corner, Jalen Bates misses. A 3rd attempt is no good. And finally, on senior day, KJ Davis pulls down the board.
Yeah, we got to do a better job of protecting our glass.
Davis for 3. Yes, sir!
Good setup by Zion to get Davis the open jumper assist. Zion Harmon, 3 points, Kevin Davis.
And that's 2 triples in transition for the Wildcats early on. Tillman tries to get around Garrett. Tillman, the top scorer, 10.5 points per game. He drives baseline, gets by Robinson, gets by French, and lays it in.
Yeah, that was bad execution on the defensive end by the Wildcats. We'll make that correction. That won't happen very often.
4-point Wildcat lead. Haven't seen Joe French get involved yet. I'm sure it's only a matter of time. Garrett passes up the 3. Hands to Davis, 10 to shoot. Back to Zion. Harmon drives and is chopped by Hans Louis June. And we get a little bit of a stoppage in play. If you recognize the referees from the women's game, it's because there's the same crew. The Southwestern Athletic Conference forgot to assign referees for this game, so it is the same crew, women's to men's, working both games. And remember how tightly called that game was. We had 3 Rattlers foul out in the women's game, so a storyline to watch for in this one, definitely. Zion in the corner, drives against Louis June, up and under. Oh, it hangs on the rim and falls. Oh, Zion Harmon.
If this were diving, he would get a big degree of difficulty on that shot, times the 2 points that he made.
Offensive foul against Chase Bars as he lowered his shoulder to create separation. Wildcat ball.
Yeah,
if you were not here right now, I mean, if you're listening, you're obviously not here, but the energy in this place right now is electric.
Yeah, go Wildcats.
BCU a hot start, 10-4.
Zion being the smaller player, the big number 10 for FAMU, pushed off, but his face happened to be at the level where the player pushed off, and that is a foul.
Screen and 3. Garrett hits it, and that play was set up by Robinson.
Dylan Robinson creating the screen to get Marcus Garrett the open 3-point attempt, and it went down for him.
13-4 Bethune-Cookman. Bates coughs the ball up. KJ Davis, coast to coast. He's fouled by Jalen Bates.
Bates over the back. Davis will go to the line. I'm glad that Kevin Davis did not try to dunk that, which was his intention on the steal, because it could have led to a really hard foul and potentially an injury.
And Bates, who coughed that ball up, was tracking him all the way, and he picks up his first foul. Second trip to the free throw line for the Wildcats tonight. Robertson went 2 of 2 first time, and Davis hits the first one. Kevin Davis playing in his final game at Moore Gymnasium, a senior from Portsmouth, Virginia. He's been all over the place. East Carolina, Samford, and now 2 seasons at Bethune-Cookman to finish out his college career. And a lane violation. You can see the referee raise his hands before Davis shot the ball.
Yeah, that was interesting that Davis missed that. It actually did distract him, and that is why you have the rule that the defensive rebounding team cannot come into the lane until it's released.
And Davis takes the second opportunity and gets it to go.
So the stats will reflect 2 of 2, even though he was 2 of 3.
That was Hans Louis June, the transfer from Northwestern Kansas Tech, who committed the lane violation. He's got the ball in his hands now. He goes against French. He backs down Joe, and he spins and finishes. And finally, a 7-0 run for the Wildcats is broken by a nice spin from June.
Nice offense on June to fake left, come back right, come back again left, and hit the left-handed layup.
June has had one of the biggest moments of the Florida A&M season. They played at Louisville in December. Harmon, step back, no good. Davis couldn't quite grab the rebound as Bates was in his face. June off to Bates. Extra pass and an easy finish at the rim by Bars.
Nice help by Dylan Robinson, to come over and shut down the drive. But FAMU smartly kicked it off to his player, and they laid it in.
First media timeout. My story about Hans Louis June is against Louisville, which was a close game. They only lost it 55-51. He threw down a monster jam.
In case you didn't see it, on that play, the Bethune-Cookman University player committed a foot line violation on the inbound. So when we come back from this timeout, it will be FAMU ball underneath, an extra possession for them.
Make sure you are representing Bethune-Cookman University Athletics to the fullest. Buy the latest BCU gear online at the Bethune-Cookman online store. Go to bcuathletics.com and then click on shop to find the newest BCU clothing and apparel. That's bcuathletics.com and click on shop. And that's the second time we've seen that today. The FAMU women's team committed the same violation in the first game.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing where you're getting ready to inbound the ball and your teammate is not paying attention. So you're going to inbound and step in right after, but the teammate had their back turned. You step in, and that's a rules violation, giving the ball to Florida A&M University Rattlers.
It was 15-4, but the Rattlers have rattled off 4 quick points and a chance to make it more with the ball underneath out of bounds.
Let's see if the Wildcat defense can make up for this and get a stop here without FAMU scoring.
Bars, Marin, Tillman, and Lewis June have all scored 1 bucket apiece for the Rattlers. It's 5 apiece for Harmon and Davis, 3 for Garrett, 2 for Robinson. That's the BCU 15.
They're really attacking Joe.
Baseline jumper from Bars, short. Another rebound for Bates. That's his second of the game.
Yeah, he's a big, strong, athletic young man, and he's going to be trouble for us all game long. Bates
listed at 6'7", a forward. A long 3, tipped away, and grabbing the rebound is Harmon. Yeah. Harmon in transition to Garrett. Marcus drives, gets it rejected by Byron Smith, who's just checked into the game.
Yeah, Marcus Garrett did the right thing to turn that corner and slice inside, going to his left hand, but good defense by FAMU to make us reset. Underneath out of bounds, Zion Harmon will inbound for the Wildcats.
As you can bet, in a game featuring 2 Florida schools, there's a lot of Florida talents in this game. Byron Smith, one of them, from Palatka, Florida, played his high school ball at P.K. Young High School. And a transfer in from Tallahassee Community College, so just across the town. Garrett twists and turns. Harmon drives, floater, good.
Yeah, nice play between the 2 guards, Garrett and Harmon, to get the easy jump hook by Zion in the middle of the lane. 2 points, Wildcats.
Just a mini sky hook, although Zion Harmon is about 1.5 feet, 2 feet shorter than Wilt Chamberlain is. Marin, easily recognizable with the long hair out the back. Bates for 3, rattled it down.
Davis, nice challenge, but just a little bit late on the skip pass by FAMU to get Bates the open 3-point shot.
Jalen Bates leads this Florida A&M team in rebounding, 7.3 a game, even though he is not the tallest player on the roster.
Yeah, he's very aggressive, good timing too, and he has a good sense of where the ball is going to come off of the rim.
Tough pass to Corral for French. Joe iso'd, gets it to Marcus Garrett. He's open for 3. He knocks it down.
Nice assist to Joe French to get Marcus Garrett the open 3-pointer. Good shot, good play, Wildcats.
Marin double teams. Smith open on the wing. Floated it into Bars, and Bars missed the layup. Missed the wide open layup. It's going to be FAMU ball after it's knocked away by Garrett, but wow.
Garrett did a nice job to save an easy putback by Barr by digging up like we've seen him do so many times when the big gathers the ball to slap it out of bounds so that we can set our defense.
Couple of changes for the Rattlers. Peyton Williams, the sophomore, comes in along with Jordan Chapman. Traveling violation against Byron Smith. We've seen that called a lot this season where somebody tries to escape dribble, but they got to dribble first.
You have to put the ball has to leave your hand before your pivot foot moves, and that did not happen that time.
Yeah, you can't just escape. It's called escape dribble for a reason.
Or it's a turnover like it was. Good call, Mike.
20-11, BCU with the 9-point advantage. And Dylan Robertson is reached in on by Peyton Williams. Peyton, a redshirt sophomore from Tampa, Florida, played for the Villages Charter in high school and then his freshman year at Lawson State.
You know, the Wildcats against this tough FAMU defense, they're drawing the foul, but they got to be strong and hold that position so that they can run their offense against this tough FAMU man-to-man.
Garrett against Marin. Garrett, one of 3 players playing their final games
clock.
at Moore Gymnasium tonight on senior night. Garrett drives and gets his ball rejected.
And only 3 on the shot clock. I hope we recognize that. We do.
That was Jalen Bates, who has collected now 22 blocks on the season. 3 seconds to get something going. Bounce pass French. 2, 1. What's the call? It is jump ball. So I guess they tied him up underneath.
As he went up, the FAMU defense held the ball down. Joe's feet touched the ground. As we've talked about previously, that's an automatic jump ball. Possession arrow, Florida A&M.
Heads up play by Marin to force the turnover.
And Joe in a tough situation with only 3 seconds to get a shot up. Three
in
seconds
the corner,
on the shot
Williams,
clock.
nice closeout by Robertson. Chapman driving against French, putting up a tough shot, and Robertson has his legs taken out from under him by Jordan Chapman. I'm sure that was not intentional.
It was not. He went down himself, just went to the ground with contact, and Dylan was up in the air. He happened to roll into Dylan. Luckily, Dylan fell softly to the ground and no injury.
Man, I every time I see Robertson take a fall like that, I fear, because he injured his leg pretty badly, and it caused him to miss the last month of last season. As he takes his seat, the freshman James Henderson Jr. comes in to replace him, but I just do not want a repeat of that last year. And it happened here at Moore Gymnasium, and he was down for a while, and it was not a good scene. But thankfully, he is back up, and even having missed some time this season, he's back playing well.
Deshaun Dyson into the game for the Wildcats.
Garrett, tough finish, had to just throw it against the glass, no good. After a bunch of scoring early on, both teams have been scoreless over the last 2 minutes as the score holds 20-11. Step back 3 from Tariq Issa.
Yep. FAMU doing a nice job of recognizing and getting the shots that they want. They're executing well. Good defense that time by James Henderson, just better offense.
Zion pulls up, off to the left. Issa, another Canadian, we saw 2 on the women's team, and now Tariq from Toronto. Reach and foul underneath.
Yeah, Deshaun had a height disadvantage against their player, and that time he got called for the foul, trying to hold Burnside down, and he got called for the foul.
Only the second foul against Bethune-Cookman. It's the second media timeout of the game. We will take it and be right back. You're watching Bethune-Cookman basketball on the Cat Eye Network. Stay up to date with everything going on at Bethune-Cookman Athletics by checking out the Wildcats on social media. Give BCU Athletics a like on Facebook and follow the Wildcats on Twitter and Instagram at BCU_athletics. For the latest on BCU men's basketball, follow at BCU Hoops on Twitter and Instagram. Michael Turillo.
Did they give Deshaun Dyson a foul on that? Because it's not up on the big board.
It is on here.
Okay.
So the Wildcats only have 2 fouls in the half as to FAMU's 6. So I think next time FAMU commits a foul, it'll be a 1-and-1 for the Wildcats.
Dig it out. That's right. Good double.
Marin throws it to the corner. Chapman drives, skips, and rolls it in.
Yeah. Nice offense by FAMU. We just didn't recover on the skip pass efficiently. getting them the open shot in the lane.
6-0 run by the Rattlers to bring it back to a 4-point game. Davis, step back elbow jumper. Oh, he loves those.
Yeah, he loves that left step back, and he showed it why. It goes in 2 points.
Wild pass from Tillman is picked off by Harmon. Zion to Kevin Davis. Davis sees the mismatch, goes for it, and scores.
Nice setup by Zion to get Davis the ball in scoring position. Good attack, Kevin Davis.
Quick 4-point swing for the Wildcats. The ball is slapped away from Burnside, and it's going to be an and one opportunity as Saeed got it right back.
Yeah, Davis, you know, that was a soft, nice foul by Davis, but a foul nonetheless. If you're going to foul somebody when they're that close, foul them hard so they can't get the three-point play.
And we've seen now Joe French on the bench. We saw last week against Grambling that they really targeted him and kind of just took him out of the game. And again, Joe on the bench here in the first half.
FAMU is attacking 2 players on our offense. When Joe French is in the game, they're going at that matchup when Marin has the ball, and the same thing with Zion is matched up against Marin as well.
It's a miss for Saeed Burnside. Burnside, a freshman from Greenville, South Carolina. Harmon in the corner. Here's Dyson. Back to Zion. Floated, that was a nice set play, but it was too far away from Dylan Robertson. Back the other way, here is Chapman, and an easy bucket for FAMU, and it's once again a 4-point game. I expect this game to be close all the way to the finish with these 2 teams.
Yeah, we've expected that in every game against FAMU. No matter what sport it is, it's always a close contest.
Garrett drives and fouled. Oh, offensive foul.
So again, the referee did not notice that his feet was way inside that lane, and you cannot draw a charge when your feet are inside that circle. That's why it's there.
Rattlers have hit 4 of their last 5, and they've all been pretty easy layups as they've been working the ball in the post. They've taken a bit of a key from Grambling State was able to do on Saturday. Chapman on the outside against French. Drives straight at Joe at a traveling violation.
Yeah, good defense by Joe French. Quickly moved his feet to cut off the baseline. Quickly adjusted to his right to cut off the spin, forcing the FAMU player into a travel.
Let's see if we can get Joe open for a corner 3. See if we can get him in the ball game.
They're really playing him tight. They are. Look now how tight they are on him. They know that he can shoot.
Damani McIntyre in the ball game. Dyson to Joe. French, ISO. McIntyre 8 to shoot. Deshaun Dyson now. Trapped and lost the ball. Tillman in transition lays it in, and we have a 2-point ball game.
Yeah, good decision that time by Damani McIntyre not to foul and complicate the mistake by the Wildcat offense.
And I think the Wildcats are getting in their own heads a little bit right now. There's not enough off-ball movement as Dyson drives, steps through for a baseline jumper and misses.
Yep. Good play by Deshaun to dribble into an open jump shot, just a little bit short on the 12-footer from the baseline.
Back up top to Burnside. Extra pass Tillman. In the corner, Chapman for 3. This is for the lead. It's in and out. Zion Harmon tries to do it himself and does hit the triple. Bethune-Cookman breaks a 2.5-minute scoreless streak.
When Zion gets into that good bounce rhythm, bouncing into his shot, he's very effective from no matter where he shoots it. And there we saw it, 3 points Wildcat.
And it's funny, they sagged off of Harmon on that last play as driving inside is Tillman and finishing at the rim. They sagged off of Zion, even though he's gone 2 for 4 from 3 today. And I think they're going to call a foul against FAMU as Issa was running McIntyre out of bounds. And that's will be the under-8 media timeout, but I believe when we come back, it'll be a 1-1 for VCU.
Yep, that's what the referee signaled, 1-1 for Damani McIntyre.
We'll let the band play you out during this media timeout. We'll be right back. It's VCU 27, FAMU 24, right here on the Cat Eye Network. Hey Wildcat fans, Pepsi is a proud sponsor of Bethune-Cookman University. Make sure to visit the concession stand located in the main lobby to grab an ice cold Pepsi today. Pepsi, refreshingly good. Wildcats up by 3 and going to the line to shoot a 1+1 penalty, as that is the 7th team foul against Florida A&M committed by Issa right before the break.
Again, FAMU on our defense is going at whoever is guarding Tillman or Marin. They have a lot of size at those two guard positions, and we're a little smaller at our guards, and they're going right at us.
And Damani McIntyre, who is admittedly not the best free throw shooter, 27% on the season, misses the front end of a 1-1. I bring your attention, just like I did on Saturday, to points in the paint, where FAMU has 14, Bethune-Cookman just 4.
Yeah, they are really taking it to our defense.
This wouldn't be a point in the paint. It's an outside shot from Smith that doesn't go. Dice on the board, ahead to McIntyre. Damani shoots and is way off, and McIntyre's in there for his defense, not necessarily his offense.
Here they go
Marin
again.
spins against French. Now he can't move his pivot for it. And is that a 5-second violation?
3 seconds.
3-second violation, excuse me.
Yeah, he was in there for a long time, faking, hoping to get something for his teammate with some ball fakes. But the clock ran out on that 3-second violation. We get a break.
Lucas Gudavicius comes into the game for the first time for Bethune-Cookman. Lucas, a freshman from Lithuania that played his prep ball in Connecticut. Whistle and a stoppage of play, and that's going to be against Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah, even though, Zion tried to dribble through the trap, lost control, turned it over, smartly committed that foul, though, or there would have been a wide open layup for FAMU unguarded on the other end.
Gudavicius has already had premier playing time, playing for Perlas Vilnius and Palangos Kursai in the Lithuanian NKL Basketball League before he was even in high school. He's getting some youth team minutes for those professional clubs. Underneath, foul on Issa, and he'll go to the line.
Lucas giving good help defense, but just a little bit late.
Robertson hot. There's a little bit of pushing and shoving after the whistle. And Davis and Henderson are getting set to check in. And we just want to avoid any sort of technical foul here. Issa from Toronto, Canada, a transfer from Lamar, previously He played at Gillette College.
We're in the double bonus, okay. Referees are signaling 2, but it was a common foul.
No, it's a shooting foul. They called a shooting foul because if it was a common foul, they wouldn't be shooting at all.
No, because we're in the double bonus, right? Or no,
we're in the single bonus.
Yeah.
And we're not even in the bonus. The FAMU's not even in the bonus at all.
That's why I'm not sure
so
why we're shooting.
They must have called it a shooting foul.
He was driving, but he had not yet got into his shooting motion, but that's neither here nor there.
2-point game. Wildcats, an extended drive spell offensively after starting really hot. They were shooting over 80% from the floor, now down to just 60%. As a team, they're averaging 41% from the floor, so still way over their season average. Harmon. And now Joe. French, he's trying to get to that corner. 4 to shoot. Gouda Vicious to Zion Harmon, fading away. Oh my goodness. Zion Harmon, stop it.
Nice recognition by Zion. Lucas gets the assist.
Ridiculous play for Zion. Foul call, I think they're going to call it against Henderson before the shot as Marin was driving. Marin, the leader on this team with 49% shooting. He also leads the team in steals, tied with 26 with Jalen Bates.
We have to make some adjustments to their dribbling attack so that they can't keep taking advantage of those size mismatches.
Now the Wildcats in the single bonus, so this is a 1+1 for Florida A&M. Marin, a 76% free throw shooter. And he gets it to go, and he'll have another one. Most of the offense for Bethune-Cookman coming via the long ball, 6 of 8 from beyond the arc. A stark contrast to last Saturday when Grambling State held the Wildcats to just 2 threes in the entire game.
Yeah, 15% on the game.
That was really what cost the Wildcats down the stretch in a 54-66 loss. In a game that was pretty close. Zion floating it up to Henderson. Backdoor to KJ Davis.
Nice touch pass by James Henderson to recognize Davis cutting to the bucket. Easy 2 points, Wildcat.
And we need more of that. We need more points in the paint. That's only our 5th and 6th points in the painted area, and that's the second foul on Henderson in about 15 seconds.
Yeah, James is doing what the game plan is, which is to double or show on that screen, but he's been just a little late twice picking up the foul. That's due to Marin's good speed and quickness and ability to turn the corner off of that screen.
Second time in a row for Marin for a 1-and-1. Hits the first one again. Bethune-Cookman already up to 7 assists. And they only average 11, so they're sharing the ball well in this first half. Long pass that was intended for French. Chapman couldn't corral it before he goes out of bounds.
Yeah, they're really guarding Joe. They're all over Joe. Joe hasn't, I don't think he's got up a shot yet. If he has, he's 0 for 1.
He has not got up a shot yet at all. Remember, he did shoot that one time, but it was a jump ball called before the shot.
Yeah, in that end of clock situation.
Reggie Theus calls a timeout. Nike, the official outfitter of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats, gear up on the newest BCU Nike gear at Nike.com/Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Florida A&M, 9 new players on their roster this year. It's a lot of changeover from the team that played for them last year. And then last season, 13-17. This season, 7-21. So they definitely have taken a step backwards. Have not had a winning conference record since 2007.
Yeah, they are playing well today, though, with their aggressive dribbling attack. They are just going 1-on-5 and going against, again, Zion or Joe on the dribble attack.
They're last in the SWAC in points per game, third in points against per game. So they've got a stingy defense, just having trouble scoring the rock, although not tonight, as they're shooting at a 55% clip and are just behind the Wildcats.
Well, normally, except against us, they're very deliberate and they use a lot of shot clock. Tonight, they're going earlier in the shot clock if the defense gives it to them, and unfortunately for the first half, they've been able to get what they want off the dribble drive.
They've been abusing the mismatches down low in the paint, which is the greatest weakness of this BCU team defensively. Harmon double teamed. That means somebody's open. It's Dylan Robertson, and he gets pushed in the chest as he tried to throw up that layup.
Nice location of the pass by Zion, who had to put it to the outside of Dylan, who quickly spun and put it up on the glass, but was fouled. He goes to the line.
Robertson, the senior from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, playing his final game at Moore Gymnasium. One of the top recruits in Alabama in 2018. Alabama High School state champion in his junior year of high school. Then he's played all over the place. Wingate, Shelton State at the Division II level, then to D1 at Sam Houston, and now his final 2 seasons at BCU. Marin, no shot underneath. He dribbles out. Hounded by Davis. His own player really kind of got in the way and caused the travel. Jordan Chatham almost set a block for his own player.
We have got to help Marin and close off the gap. Help on Marin to close off the gap and not let him dribble into our defense like he did that last time. We got lucky that he traveled.
33-29, a closely fought first half. Harmon, the hot hand for the Wildcats. He's got 13 points. Davis, Dyson from the corner, just a little bit too strong. Deshaun Dyson, another one of those players that can really fill it up if he gets going.
Yeah, he's got to get it going if we're going to be successful in this game.
Again, Chapman attacks French and draws the foul. And nobody wearing maroon and gold is happy with that one.
FAMU is playing old school isolation basketball. Whoever has it on the wing, if Joe French is guarding them or Zion is guarding them, they are letting them go to the bucket all game long.
Chapman, the sophomore from Birmingham, Alabama, transfer from Shelton State, is at the line. And Florida A&M may only be 7-21, but their out-of-conference schedule reads like they may be playing in a different conference than the one they're actually in.
They're shooting free throws well. Am I seeing that right? 6 for 7? For this game?
Yeah. No, 6 for 8.
6 for 8.
Now 7 for 9. But their non-conference slate was at Oregon, at Portland, at Oregon State, at Miami, at Florida, at Georgia, at Louisville, at Kentucky, at Purdue.
So nobody any good.
No, of course not.
Yeah, those are some big-name historic basketball programs that they take on out of conference.
Reach-in called against Zion, or as the man guarding Zion.
Chapman.
Chapman. Issa slapped it away, but the play was already dead. A lot of free throws, which we kind of anticipated, right? This game is being very consistently officiated, as was the women's game. Being called very tight, not really letting them play a lot. There's no real rhythm to the game right now, and that's probably the main reason why.
Yeah, neither team so far tonight is giving strong help defense against the dribbler, and the dribblers tonight are taking advantage of that by going all the way into the bucket, getting a good shot, or getting to the free throw line as Zion Harmon did on this trip for the Wildcats.
First trip to the line tonight for Zion Harmon. And he hits both of the one-and-one penalties, shooting 81% from the line this year. And he is second in the team in scoring with 13.3, just behind Marcus Garrett's 13.5. They've traded that scoring lead back and forth all season long. Dyson matched up against Tillman. Tillman, and they get the foul called against Deshaun Dyson. That'll be 2 shot penalty as we hit the under 4 timeout. This is I think both teams are going to have to accept that this is the way the game is going to go.
So far in the first half, there's no doubt about it.
Final media timeout of the first half. We'll step aside. This is BCU basketball on the Cat Eye Network. Southwestern Athletic Conference basketball tournament is next week, and now is your opportunity to catch all the exciting action at Bartow Arena in Birmingham, Alabama. Tickets for the tournament are on sale now through the SWAC website and at the BCU box office. Don't miss your chance to support the Wildcats and see some entertaining SWAC basketball taking place March 8th through 11th at Bartow Arena in Birmingham. It's SWAC time, baby, and
you know, if this turns into a free throw contest, Mike, which it's quickly looking like it will, the Wildcats are 69% on the season, and FAMU is 70% on the season.
Well, very close.
Very close.
Tillman got the roll, and he hits both of them. Back to a 2-point game. The lead for Bethune-Cookman was at 1.11. 15-4, and since then it's been mostly all FAMU as they've just tried to play bully ball on the offensive glass against the Wildcats, and BCU shooting from outside, which was so hot to open the game, has gone a little bit cold. Harmon has the ball poked away from him, running free is Issa, and he lays it in. Tie game. 7th turnover for the Wildcats.
Yeah, tough break for the Wildcats. Zion turning the ball over, leading to a run-out layup for FAMU.
Harmon with Issa switched onto him. Robertson is open, but he doesn't take the three. That's not his game. KJ Davis will, though, and it's too strong.
Yeah. Wildcats not in their offensive rhythm because FAMU is running and jumping the pick. Travel.
Another travel, that time against Chase Bars. That's the second time the Western Michigan transfer has traveled while going for a layup.
Yeah, good help by Dylan Robinson to force him into that. He didn't anticipate Dylan coming over with such speed to stop him from laying the ball in.
And something that I've noticed is the Rattlers have gone to a press, not just in the backcourt, but in the front court as well. They're pressing really hard above the the 3-point line, excuse me.
Yeah, they're running and jumping our picks. See, watch, they're going to.
Dyson in the corner.
There you go, take him.
Dyson, moving screen. He hit the three, but they're going to call Robinson for the moving screen.
Tough break. Hopefully because Deshaun made that shot, it could get him going offensively, even though it didn't count on the big board. Maybe it'll count in his head and get him some momentum rolling towards scoring.
Chance for the Rattlers to take their first lead of the game. Tillman, step back jumper, front of the arm, no good.
Marcus has had a long rest on the bench.
Davis drives, blocked by Issa. Tillman in transition, Smith, no good. Offensive board for Lewis June. Tillman against Robertson, and offensive foul against Tillman.
Let me just say this. That was excellent officiating because number 23 for them, Tillman, recognized he missed that shot, so he immediately pushed Davis out of the way to go get the offensive rebound that he knew was coming, and thank goodness the referee was there to see it. A very obvious pushing foul.
They send KJ Davis 94 feet to the free throw line.
I don't know what they could be discussing because it is a common foul, and we
we're
are in the bonus.
Bonus, and the double bonus, so it's going to be 2 shots.
I think they're just making sure it was the right player.
And I think we're going to go to the monitor. I'm trying to read the referee's lips, and then Theus walks in front of me, so I think you're right. And the only thing it could be is
they just want to make sure they put the right free throw shooter on the line, and it will be Kevin Davis. Hopefully they'll say, no, it's Joe French.
Wildcats have gone cold in the last part of this first half, the second quarter, if you will, allowing FAMU to close and tie the game. Scoreless over the last 2 minutes and 13 seconds, but even in the last maybe 5 or 6 minutes, buckets hard to come by for the Wildcats.
Yep. So 35-35 with 2:01 to go. FAMU averaging 58 points a game. I think on the season the Wildcats are at 66, right under, 66. So we're on pace.
But the Rattlers are way up on their pace, and it's just because they've been able to get so many easy points in the paint and in transition and off of turnovers. Rebounding situation, well, it doesn't look good. FAMU 16 rebounds, BCU 8.
Yeah, they are really crashing the glass on both ends. We're not getting any second chance opportunities. We normally get some of those. We've got to do a better job of that, of gathering in any miss, especially if it's a long miss. We've talked about it, Mike, that when it's a three-pointer, those guards got to get into that free throw area, because if it's a miss, it's highly likely it's going to be a long bounce. Long shot, long bounce.
So this game right now, scoring-wise, is the opposite of the women's game, where everybody on the floor was getting involved for BCU, and it was just a couple of players for Florida A&M carrying them. Now, everybody's getting involved for Florida A&M, and Harmon with 15 and Davis with 11 are the main players carrying the game for Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah, and again, they really are isolating for Tillman to dribble attack and for Marin to dribble attack. And when Marin isn't in the game, they'll let Louis Jean dribble attack.
I think it's Louis June.
Louis June.
Yeah. And then Issa again has been.
But Bates and Marin come back in, and we'll see them dribble attack. We'll see Marin on the dribble attack on this end in just a minute away, just a second away.
Davis perfect from the line again. And it is a 2-point BCU lead with 2 minutes to go in the first half. A very tightly contested first half, as you would expect. BCU ran out winners up in Tallahassee earlier this season on the 2nd of January by a final score of 67-59, and a turnover forced by Dyson. Garrett flying down the lane and finally breaks the scoreless streak for BCU.
Deshaun turned the wrong way when Marcus was flying down the court in the lane for open, but luckily he recognized it and hit him for the layup.
Watch for the dribble attack. Here it comes from Marin. And he forces McIntyre back, and McIntyre got him on the wrist.
Yeah, that is a tough break for the Wildcats. Good defense by Damani, but just a little bit too much on the wrist to draw the foul. Where's Marin at point-wise? 4?
Right now he's got 6.
6.
Marin, the Brown transfer. Although the leader of this team in scoring is Jordan Tillman. And right now, he is the leader in scoring on the team with 8 points, although Marin has just matched him.
Just over a minute left in the half.
BCU with a slim 2-point lead. Harmon, lots of traffic upstairs. Floater by Davis, no good. Almost got his own miss, but he was boxed out by Issa.
He wanted to go alley-oop to Dylan Robinson, but he did not recognize it. Dylan did not see that that's what Davis wanted to do. 2
BCU defenders get crossed up. Issa drives against Davis. Good defense by KJ and stripped by McIntyre. Zion Harmon out in front, and he lays it in.
There we go, Damani McIntyre with the steal, setting up Zion for the run-out 2-point layup.
61st steal of the season for Damani McIntyre. That continues to lead the SWAC by a large margin, and it leads to an easy transition bucket for Harmon.
That's 2 of those that Damani has gotten us to give us this 4-point lead.
I think that steal was credited to Dyson on the first one because he's the one that actually took the ball
away. Yeah, he knocked it away. You're right. And then,
but McIntyre created the chaos.
Gathered it up.
Yeah. 41-37, 37 seconds left. I think FAMU took a timeout.
They did. They called a timeout. They want to get something good. I'm betting they're going to go right away, attack on the dribble so that they can get another possession is what I'm thinking they're going to do. Even though the shot clock isn't really coming into play if the Wildcats get the ball back, but I don't know why else their coach would call that timeout.
Set drop, a set play?
He certainly didn't call it to say hold for one shot because he could have done that from the sideline.
Yeah. Florida A&M, something I do love about the Rattlers is their uniforms. They look really nice, and they are the first team in college basketball to wear the LeBron James brand on their uniforms. As you notice in the top left-hand chest area, it's not the Nike check. That's LeBron James up there. And he has supported the school financially and been more involved with HBCU athletics in general.
Wildcats show zone and then go to man-to-man, and it confuses the Rattlers.
Marin almost chipped away, comes right to Bars. Marin again against Davis. Stops, twists, turns, throws it up, no good. Rebound tapped out to Zion, 7 to shoot. Harmon backs up, shoots, knocks it down right at the end of the first half. Full court heave falls short, and the Wildcats close the first half well to take a 43-37 lead into the break in a first half where it was very close, but FAMU has never led.
Smart offense by Zion Harmon on the run out, recognizing the clock is running down, but the defense was backing off. So, hey, if you're going to back off, I'll take the 14-footer. I can make those all the time.
It's time for the BCU Pep Band to rock the house during halftime. We'll take a 15-minute break, and when we come back, it's the second half, the final half of the season here at Moore Gymnasium between the Rattlers and the Wildcats. It's 43-37 at the break. You're watching Bethune-Cookman basketball on the Cat-Eye Network.
This will be away courtesy of Green. The Samantha and the Quad, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're going to get round applause. We're giving away 2 portable LED Bluetooth speakers. One for you, one for you. And Arian, we have a Bluetooth speaker for you. Courtesy of Crooked Wireless. Proud sponsor of this event.
Welcome back to Moore Gymnasium for the second half of our final game of the season here at the campus of Bethune-Cookman University. Michael Torillo, Eric Dennis with you for the final time this year. Bethune-Cookman leads Florida A&M 43-37 at the break. Let's quickly run down your scoring totals for the first half. For FAMU, it reads like a laundry list. Marin with 8, Tillman with 8, Chapman with 7, Issa with 5, Bates with 3, Bars, Lewis, June, and Burnside all with 2. Smith and Williams have played but have not scored. And for Bethune-Cookman, only 4 players have found their way onto the score sheet in the first half. Harmon with a game-high 19, Davis with 13, Garrett with 8, and Robertson with just 3. Only 2 players outside of those 5 have attempted a field goal. Dyson is 0 for 2 and McIntyre 0 for 1.
Yeah, we've got to get our balanced scoring back in line this half to be more successful. I'm sure that we'll make that attempt. However, we got to get past that tough FAMU defense. They are running and jumping our pick and roll action, and we haven't reacted well to them trapping that. Maybe this half we'll make those adjustments and play against that well.
And we've kind of gotten ourselves into a little bit of trouble sometimes on the offensive end because we don't, there's not a lot of off-ball movement in this system, and when what little there is goes away, that trap becomes more effective because nobody comes to the ball to pick up the easy pass.
Yeah, you've got it. That's basic basketball, Mike. Good point, that when you see that your teammate is going to be trapped before it ever happens, we need to recognize that and go give your teammate an option to pass it to you, and let's see if we can do that.
Only man in the game with 3 fouls is Jordan Chapman for FAMU. Nobody else has more than 2. For VCU, Garrett, Dyson, and Henderson all have 2. It'll be VCU with the ball to start the second half. They go right to left in the gold uniforms with white numbers trimmed in maroon. FAMU, green uniforms with white numbers trimmed in orange. Bullet pass underneath. Robinson tried to throw it down, and he's fouled by Issa. That's a very similar foul to one in the first half.
Yeah, exactly the way we started the first half, that Dylan Robinson's going to get to the line on a nice feed by Garrett, who turned the corner, almost lost his, well, he did lose his balance, but kept his footing, and that sends Robinson to the line on a nice feed by Garrett. If he was just an inch closer to the basket, he would have dunked it home.
Yeah, I thought it was an odd choice that he tried to throw it down from that far away and not just go with kind of a soft hook shot.
Yeah, he may not have realized where he was going up, and once he got up in the air, he was committed to the dunk, and then he had to adjust it, and the ball just hit the back of the rim just a little bit off.
VCU started really hot in the first quarter, growing their lead to 11, 15-4 before FAMU started to pull back into the game.
Let's see if FAMU goes back to this dribble attack offense that they've been running against us this game.
Tillman bumped by Garrett, gets it back from Lewis June. Tillman, the top scorer for the Rattlers. Step back 3, in and out, but an offensive rebound for Issa, and they're going to say somebody pushed him. Robertson pushed him, so that is Dylan's second foul. Got to be careful with how close the referees are calling this game. Basically, most interactions are being whistled, so you got to be careful about, getting different players involved so players don't foul out. Marin behind the back, guarded by Zion. Tillman, and now Bates splits 2 defenders and gets it rejected by Robinson, but the ball goes off of Garrett's shoulders and back to Marin, who's fouled by Zion.
Oh, tough break. The shot clock was down to 3, and Marin recognized that and dribbled right into Zion to draw the foul. Good play by that young man, Marin, to recognize that situation.
2 quick fouls on Bethune-Cookman. First half ended up in kind of a free throw shooting contest. Joe French goes down and Lewis June rolls it in. French trying to take the charge, no call that time. Got to be careful on a dribble handoff that close to the
I was a little worried
center
about
line.
that too.
Garrett spins, floater. To the line he goes. He was held by Tillman.
The referees, like you talked about, Mike, are really calling it tight. They're calling the hand checks. They're calling the defensive spin, the offense spinning. They're calling that body contact, and it's resulting in a lot of free throws this game.
13 attempts for FAMU, 13 attempts for Bethune-Cookman. Both teams have hit 11 free throws, so that evens out right there. A lot of spin on Marcus Garrett's free throw. Almost acts like a
hypnotizes you.
A slider in baseball. It kind of moves in the air and creates that arc. Well, he's consistent at it. Got 2 that time to push the BCU lead up to 47-39.
Let's see if we can get a stop. One stop at a time. FAMU not sure what they want to run. Their head coach is calling out a play, trying to isolate. They're trying to go against Joe French like they've tried to do all game.
It's Lewis June again, but he can't move his pivot foot. He's got to get the ball away, and he gets it to Davis. Davis ahead to Garrett. Marcus, baseline kick. Joe French open for three. Knock this down, Joe. Yes, sir! It hangs on the rim and falls, and Joe French has entered the ball game.
He took a dribble to get his rhythm, dribbled into it, smartly knocked it down. Assist Marcus Garrett on the nice creation.
Bates backing down. Davis coughed the ball up. Harmon in transition. French, catch and shoot three. Yes! Joe French has 6 points in the span of about 8 seconds. And BCU has pushed the lead to 53-39. Timeout, Rattlers. What a start for the Cats.
Everybody on their feet, feeling Joe's energy as he knocks down 2 threes in a row.
It is loud in this building. Under the direction of head coach Laura Watton, Bethune-Cookman softball enjoys its home opener next weekend as the Wildcats welcome SWAC opponent Alabama A&M to Sunnyland Park. A 3-game series begins Friday, March 10th at 1 p.m. Support your reigning SWAC Eastern Conference champion at Sunnyland Park next weekend, or catch it live on the Cat Eye Network. I will be there calling all the action for all of you lovely people on the internet. As softball finally returns from its very long, very arduous road trip. They're in Southwest Florida right now.
Yeah, they've been on the road, California, Jacksonville. Now, at least they're in the home state on the West Coast in the Tampa Bay area, but they need to get home to Wildcat Field and place.
And it can kind of be demoralizing, right? They're playing so many top teams in the country. Their record is 1-11, but they're a much better team than that.
Yeah.
It's a little loud in here. It's kind of disrupting communications between Derek and I whenever the band plays. BCU on an 8-0 run to push this lead. And right now it's the largest of the game, 53-39, 14 points, including 2 massive three-pointers by Joe French. And now 5 players have hit the scoring column for the Wildcats. Eric, you mentioned coming out of halftime that the Wildcats need to get more players involved offensively. Well, there's Joe French.
Joe French stepping up, doing what he does. He's a natural three-point shooter, and he shows why he's been face guarded this entire game up until now by the FAMU Rattlers.
And he was presented with a very nice plaque for scoring 1,000 points here at Bethune-Cookman before the game during the senior recognition ceremony. Marin catches, guarded by Davis, goes straight at KJ, and KJ wins the battle. But unfortunately comes right back to Issa, and the Rattlers shoot a 3 from the outside. Battling for the rebound is Chapman, but the Wildcats come away with it. French in the corner, nobody guarded him. Oh, and he missed the three-pointer wide.
Yeah, he never got his feet set.
Marcus Garrett takes it away. Another chance for Davis, and he's fouled. This is the energy I love from the Wildcats.
Yeah, Joe French takes the wide open 3, but he didn't have his feet set. His body was a little off. That's why he missed it towards the end, towards where he was not lined up. Marcus Garrett collects the long rebound, goes to the hoop, and Davis is going to be at the line.
It basically bounced over Chapman and Marin's heads and right to Garrett, and it eventually ends up in 2 free throws for Kevin Davis, which Davis obliges by hitting the first one. Davis, because Dylan Robertson was out for so long with an injury, actually has the lead in rebounds on the team with 185. Robertson only 75. Largest lead of the night for the Wildcats, 16 points, as they have hit 10 points in a row. 3 ball, short, rebound Garrett, on a run, is Kevin Davis. Extra pass to Zion Harmon. Up and under. Oh, it's another circus shot for Zion. And the crowd at Moore Gymnasium is loving every minute of it.
Wildcats getting their up-tempo offense going, getting some easy buckets against that tough FAMU defense.
And what we're doing is getting out in transition, which we didn't do in the first half. Every time FAMU puts the ball on the floor and the ball stays in play, obviously that time we're not going to get a transition opportunity. Somebody's running out ahead of the play. We saw French do it 3 times and hit 2 of 3 three-pointers. We saw Davis do it that time to find Harmon for an open look. So I think that must have been the emphasis from the coaching staff at halftime, was just get open looks in transition or wherever you can find them. Harmon throws it up. It was a little bit too tall for Robinson. Marin spinning, dealing. Issa's open underneath. And Davis says absolutely not. But following up is Chapman. And the 12-0 run is broken, but it is still a 22-4 scoring clip for BCU across the halftime interval.
Good help side defense by Davis to block that shot, but FAMU gathers the loose ball and gets an easy layup.
Harmon trapped. Jump ball, possession arrow FAMU. And I think Zion may have got caught in the face. He is down as we hit the first media timeout of the half. Head coach Jonathan Hernandez and Bethune-Cookman baseball are in full swing, with the Wildcats already having defeated teams from Lehigh and Purdue-Fort Wayne at home. The Cats are in action this weekend with the series finale against Longwood taking place tomorrow against Jackie Robinson Ballpark. First pitch for Sunday's game is scheduled for 1 p.m. Support your BCU Wildcats tomorrow at the Jack against Longwood at 1 p.m. or catch it live on the Cat Eye Network. I was down at Jackie Robinson for the first time this season, taking in some SWAC baseball action and broadcasting live on the Cat Eye Network. And it's a nice time down there. Get down there if you haven't been.
Yeah, it's been nice and breezy here in Daytona Beach. Beautiful baseball weather, beautiful atmosphere down there near the water. It's a beautiful place to play, Jackie Robinson Stadium. Tremendous history, and we're very appreciative to play in that stadium. Thank you, City of Daytona Beach.
Jackie Robinson Ballpark about to get a couple $1 million in renovations over the next couple of years. Yep. And that'll only benefit the Wildcat baseball program as they ground share with the Daytona Tortugas, our local minor league club. And that's the reason that the Wildcat baseball team plays so many home games in the first month and a half of the season, because once the minor league baseball season starts, we have to schedule around them.
Well, not only that, the NCAA season does start sooner, but all those northern teams come to Florida, and it's basically their spring training to play against colleges here in this state. They schedule as many games as they can in as short a time as they can, so that they can be ready to go back and play in their Northern Conference once the snow melts.
Yeah, I mean, and we've had Team Lehigh from Pennsylvania, Fort Wayne from Indiana, and Longwood from Virginia down here. And it's the last weekend series at home in the non-conference for BCU. After this, they'll go to South Carolina and Florida State for 2 really tough series and then be back home to start the conference schedule.
Yeah.
Rattler ball after the tie-up. It is 57-41, 16 points the gap. BCU try to improve on it. And a couple of FAMU turnovers have helped the Wildcats increase their lead over the past couple of minutes. Marin, and the baseline turns it over again. Garrett running out ahead of the play and scoops it in.
That could have been an and one, as their player, number 23, got a hand in on Tillman, got a hand in, but no foul call.
I think it actually was good from Tillman to kind of ease off and not go for the full body check. In the corner, 3 on the way from Issa, missed it short. Wildcats want to run again. McIntyre will slow it down.
That time, FAMU covered up Joe really fast in transition.
Oh, Marin with the fast hands. They tried to get it to Robinson, who was free underneath. Marin is free for takeoff as he throws it down for the second time this game.
Yeah, Damani with a bad pass. Should have bounced past it to Dylan Robinson on the cut, resulting in a turnover run out. Easy bucket for FAMU.
Want to avoid those. Remember, we have had a big lead in the game, and FAMU pulled it back. And the women's team had a big lead in their game, and FAMU made it interesting at the end. Davis out to French. French trying to escape Marin's clutches, and he took too long, and that's a shot clock violation.
Good play by Joe French to penetrate their defense. Just needed one more second on the shot clock. It would have been an easy bucket by Kevin Davis.
Bates and Lewis June come back onto the floor for the Rattlers. Bates, a junior from Atlanta, Georgia, transferring from Gaston College. And despite their only being 5-12 in the SWAC, they're on a pretty decent run of form, are Florida A&M.
They're going at Joe French again.
Chapman against French, and French wins the battle, and it's going to be an offensive foul over the back against Bates.
Yeah, that was no question of that over the back foul. Bates had a running start to go up over Dylan Robinson, and that was definitely an over the back call. Good positioning by the referee to pick it up and make the call.
And great job by Joe French, too, right? He is outmatched in those one-on-one situations. He's not a fantastic defender, but that time he did enough to put Chapman off and cause the miss.
Yeah, good position defense by Joe French.
Rattlers trying to sprint back in transition, almost a turnover, and it is. Smith poked it away from Davis, who wasn't paying attention. Tillman gets by KJ, fakes the pass, and scores.
Tillman is their leading scorer at 10 a game, and he shows his offensive abilities right there.
Grew up in the shadow of another SWAC institution in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. (59-45). Wildcats just trying to continue the offensive pace. Marcus Garrett drives, draws the contact, and scores.
Good play by Marcus Garrett. FAMU overplayed our double staggered screen to Joe French coming to the top of the key. Marcus Garrett made a little fake thinking the defense because he knew the play, and then he went by him on his left side, gets to the bucket for an and one.
Garrett a chance for an and one. He's up to 12 points. If this one goes in, it'll be 13, and he will have hit his season average, which he does.
Good offense by the Wildcats this half to share the ball and take advantage of the FAMU defense. Also on the other end, we've run zone a few times and it's confused FAMU, and they're not sure what offense they're in.
Rattlers have turned the ball over 13 times. Bethune-Cookman also has turned the ball over 13 times. Tillman working against Garrett, step back jumper, too strong. Davis with a great rebound. Garrett driving, finds McIntyre. McIntyre had the mismatch, but he doesn't want to go at Smith. Excuse me, that was Lewis June. Now, Marcus Garrett playing a little bit of time control. Davis splits a double team. Garrett was open for three, but he slipped out of his hands. He gathers, he shoots, and he missed the three. And he just put himself off a little bit there by not catching that pass cleanly. FAMU takes a long time to get into the front court, but they do eventually with 1 second left before the violation.
Yeah, Marcus did not catch that pass cleanly to go up for the shot, allowing the FAMU defense to catch up to him, making it a little tougher shot. Still almost made it, though.
Lewis June into trouble, and it's rejected by Robertson. McIntyre in transition. Garrett fakes the three, goes to Dylan down low, who finishes over the top of Bates.
Great setup by our Damani Bates to get the hockey assist.
Ball stripped away by Robinson as we hit the under 12 media time outs. What a second half this has been. End-to-end action, and Bethune-Cookman currently leads by 14. We'll take a short break and be right back. You're watching BCU Basketball on the Cat Eye Network. 19-point lead for the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats as I correct my incorrect mental math right before we went to the break. It's their largest lead of the night as they have led wire to wire in this contest, Eric. But let's not take away from the importance of this game. They got to hold on to this lead if they want to head to the SWAC tournament for the first time ever.
Well, this half we're rebounding better. Marcus Garrett and Zion Harmon as guards are getting into the middle where those long rebounds are coming. In the first half, FAMU gathered those in. This half, we've been able to gather those in, and it's led to a couple run-out offensive possessions for us, too.
Smith directing traffic against Zion, and Amani McIntyre gets a steal. Harmon battling for the ball against Marin and eventually pulls Marin to the ground. I mean, I'm not sure why he's arguing. That was pretty clear.
Well, you know, the referee always catches the second movement. I assure you that Marin grabbed Zion first.
But another good steal for Damani McIntyre, and maybe if he had hesitated for a second and picked his head up, he would have seen Kevin Davis wide open in the middle of the floor.
Yeah, I thought that's where he was going to go with the ball and why he threw it ahead. He really didn't gain an advantage, but we'll take that. You know, we wouldn't have had that opportunity if he didn't get that steal and force that offensive opportunity for us.
Checking in on some foul trouble, the only player on BCU with 3 is now Zion Harmon. Tillman and Chapman both have 3 for Florida A&M. Lewis June wide open for 3 in the corner, missed it long. Bates goes for the rebound. Harmon gets there first but taps it out of bounds.
Yeah, that was Zion was in an impossible position there where Bates had the momentum coming to the ball. Zion had to react and couldn't get there in time.
Wildcats still holding on to this 19-point advantage, their largest of the night. Marin tries to go up over Davis, and that's going to be an and one. Davis didn't foul him. I think he was pulled down from behind.
I don't know why they called that foul on Davis, but because it should have been on Damani. But they did charge it to Davis.
They did charge it to Davis. That's his second foul and one attempt from Marin, who really has been the heart and soul of this FAMU team today.
Yeah, that was an important possession for them.
BCU breaks the trap. Garrett goes straight at the defense and cannot get it. And then McIntyre couldn't pull down the rebound, had to go off his hands. I think the Wildcats just need to slow down a little bit. Yes, they have had success speeding the game up, but now that we've had this lead, it's maybe time to rein it in a little bit.
Marcus likes to go off a 2-foot jump in those situations. It would be good to see him 2-step into a layup, and he'd have a little more control under that kind of pressure by the defense. But he makes most of those, just that one just didn't drop. Wildcats in zone. Now they switch to man.
Lewis June just going to drive against Marcus. Garrett does well to win the battle and force the travel.
He did. He picked the ball up and then took 2 steps but didn't shoot. If you take 2 steps after ending your dribble, you must shoot or pass the ball.
They're really coming hard with this trap, but BCU has figured it out. McIntyre in the front court will just hold it and wait for Marcus Garrett to mosey his way down the floor. Throwing it up to Robinson. They've tried to do that 3 times now and just haven't gotten it.
You know,
in transition, the lob, and FAMU says that's how you do it. Smith to Bates for the slam.
Yeah, it's a good play on our end, but you got to make the pass. It's got to be in a place where Dylan can go and get it.
Here comes FAMU. Do not count out the Rattlers. High press up top for Smith on Zion. Harmon drives, kicks for McIntyre, and gets it back. Harmon really trying to bait Smith with 4 seconds to shoot. ISO play for Zion, throws up a wild one and gets fouled.
Beautiful play by Zion to recognize that we're down on the shot clock. Pressures the defense with his dribble attack, switches to his left hand, to keep the defender from blocking the shot, to at least get it up on the glass, getting to the line for 2.
Next foul for the Rattlers will put BCU in the single bonus, and this may turn into a free throw shooting contest just like it did in the first half.
Yeah, I hope that we can turn it back on like we did to start this half and stretch this lead out, but we'll see. FAMU is a little more organized now and playing better in their half-court offense, and the Wildcats are sliding back a little bit in our half-court offense. FAMU's picking up their defense. Let's see if we can meet that energy and stay ahead and extend this lead.
They called that last foul on Chapman. That's his 4th, and he will remain in the game. Tillman comes back in for the Rattlers, who are down by 15. They've lowered the gap by 4 over the last couple of minutes. Tillman against Robertson. That's a mismatch. He takes the 3, doesn't get it. And what a rebound by Marcus Garrett. He got up there as a guard. Fancy dribbling in transition, and Wildcats will keep the ball as it went off of Byron Smith.
So Marcus read that play very well, but the defense reacted to Marcus's read, gave good help when he gave it up to Davis to slap it out of bounds, saved them 2 points.
Looks like they're going to try and get it to Zion. They clear the middle for Robinson, somehow gathers it and gets it to McIntyre.
McIntyre, smart play to get back in bounds to gather that ball up once it bounced off of Dylan Robinson.
A little bit of a lucky bounce there. Zion, heat check 3. Oh, he knocks it down. Zion Harmon is having the second best game of his season, up to 25 points.
When Zion is in that rhythm and you let him bounce into his shot, he's going to be a very good shooter.
Smith has to shoot, and he draws the contact against Damani McIntyre.
I think we need to take that to the referee's appeals court on behalf of Damani. I'm going to get him a good lawyer. We're going to do a fundraiser to see if we can get that on appeal.
It's not going to work, and it's going to be a 2-shot foul for Byron Smith. I don't think Zion's going to get to his best game of the season, which was a 36-point outing in the loss at Southern back in January, where he hit 8 3-pointers, was the second most in a game in BCU history, and was the most points by a freshman in the game this season across all of college basketball.
Yep. FAMU is going back to that one-on-one. They're attacking from the top, from the side, and clearing it out for one-on-one to see what happens and how we react on the defensive end.
Missed the second one. Robertson battling for it. McIntyre tips it away, but it comes back out to Chapman. Extra possession for FAMU. Smith drives and draws the contact. Great offense by Byron Smith. And that's, I think, the 4th foul against Marcus Garrett. No, it's the 3rd foul against Garrett. And so he's going to shoot 4 free throws on this possession.
Worst case scenario on this trip for the Wildcats, that offensive rebound, again, their player, as Damani is so good at, as Marcus is so good at, went up under Dylan Robinson to knock it out of his hands as he was pulling it down. Marcus Garrett out of the game. Good play by Coach Theus so that he doesn't pick up another foul quickly.
Deshaun Dyson comes back into the game. An uncharacteristic cold night for him, 0 for 2 from the floor. Let's see if we can get him going. Davis up to Zion. Harmon against Lewis June. And a foul against June as he put the shoulder to Zion's chest.
That made no sense why he fouled Zion that far away from the basket.
Because it's a 1-and-1 now as the Wildcats are in the single bonus for the last 8 minutes and 23 seconds of the contest.
That just wasn't a very smart basketball play that time by FAMU, and the head coach is talking to Lewis June about that.
In fact, both teams are going to be shooting the rest of the way. So this game could slow to a snail's pace just like the first half did.
Yeah, it's going to be a free throw contest. Again, we talked about it. Both teams, FAM at 70% as a team.
Bethune 69.
69. So look for each team to make 7 out of 10.
Zion Harmon into his motion, and he got both of them to go. Harmon, the highest rated recruit in VCU history, after transferring after not playing his freshman season at Western Kentucky. Driving and throwing up a shot, no good is Smith. He'll go to the line for the 3rd straight time.
We have to stop that penetration earlier and not let their players get down the lane and get to the free throw line like it just happened right now.
One of the most important offseason questions for this BCU team, and I know the season is not over. The Wildcats are likely going to hang on to this and go to the SWAC tournament for the first time, and yes, that should be celebrated. But a big offseason talking point is Zion Harmon going to stay at Bethune-Cookman? Is he going to enter the transfer portal? We don't know. Such a highly touted guy coming out of high school. You know, unfortunately, he was shuffled out at Western Kentucky, landed here.
Zion loves Bethune-Cookman University, but the transfer portal is so attractive to every player of his caliber to find the greener grass on the other side neighbor's fence, right?
Sometimes the grass isn't always greener, as another set of dribbling wizardry from Marcus Garrett to get away from that. I thought he was going to turn the ball over. He's got some of the fastest hands this side of the Mississippi. Wildcats just trying to drain some sand through the hourglass. Pick and pop. Garrett in and out.
Garrett,
a good look.
Little tired, got a good look. If he was fresh, I think he makes that shot.
Tillman in transition. Smith has the hot hand at the moment. He flies to the hoop for nothing. Chapman with the offensive board against Robertson. He gets the bump. He scores and one. Wow. Everything falling for the Rattlers at the moment. They've made 3 of their last 4 shots and have gotten to the line every time in their last 4 possessions.
FAMU ultra aggressive on the offensive end. They are spreading the floor out and attacking on the dribble. We have to close off the dribbler and make them go with something else.
Wildcat fans, Pepsi is a proud sponsor of Bethune-Cookman University. Make sure to visit the concession stand located in the main lobby to grab an ice cold Pepsi today. Pepsi, refreshingly good, or pick one up from your local convenience store. Nike is the official outfitter of Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Gear up with the newest VCU Nike gear at Nike.com/Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Checking in on the men's basketball standings here in the SWAC. VCU currently sits in 8th. With a win today, they would go to 8-10. And with a Texas Southern loss or a Prairie View loss, well, they play each other, so one of them's going to have to lose. They would jump to 8th. So,
yeah, what's interesting today is 2 of the teams around us, Texas Southern and Prairie View A&M. Texas Southern 7-10, A&M 8-9 are playing each other. So someone's going to lose that game.
So that is good for us, because if we win, we're going to jump them and not finish 8th and have to go through Grambling State in the first round of the playoff.
And then on our heels, Arkansas Pine Bluff is home against Alcorn, and then Alabama State is at Grambling.
And those are the top 2 teams in the SWAC. So if the whole day goes chalk, the Wildcats will be happy, because they'll be in the SWAC tournament for the first time ever in their 2nd season after changing from the MEAC. They were part of that MEAC since 1971.
Yeah, MEAC is has been a great conference for Bethune-Cookman University. Moving to the SWAC was a brilliant move for the university. Little higher profile, but also tougher competition. As you look at it, apples for apples, on paper, the SWAC is a little bit up from the MEAC.
And in all sports, I mean, the SWAC football with Jackson State and Southern, especially in that Western Conference. Texas Southern, a great football school as well. Wildcats beat the trap. Now they got to get into their half-court set. Gudavicius on the floor. Almost turns the ball over, but Dyson collects it. Davis skips past one and is fouled from behind by Lewis June.
This really is turning into a free throw contest, people.
It has, and right now Florida A&M is winning that contest, shooting 81% from the line. Actually, no, Bethune-Cookman is 19 of 22 from the line, both teams shooting over 80%.
Yeah,
it has contributed to some of the high scoring we've seen in this ball game.
12-point difference right now, and again, these free throws for both teams are very, very important. And there's your announcer jinx.
Yep. Davis misses the first one of the game for him. He was 6 for 6 previously. Zion Harmon crucially now has 4 fouls, which is why Gudavicius is in the game. Zion up to 27 points. So his scoring is surely missed down the stretch here. Davis missed them both.
Very unusual for that young man to miss 2 free throws.
Byron Smith, the hot hand at the moment for Florida A&M. He drives against Gudavicius. Now he's got to move the ball. He's swarmed. He finds the open man. Lewis June for 3, no good. And Lucas grabs the board as it comes out on the baseline. In transition, Dyson sets his feet, fires from 3, swish! It's good.
Nice recognition by Lucas to see Deshaun Dyson wide open down the court without any FAMU player near him. Deshaun coolly hits the 3.
We have hit 3 identical three-pointers in transition from that right wing side. French has hit 2, and now Dyson's got 1. Baseline jumper, Chapman, no good. And Joe French gets the rebound. A rare board for him.
Oh, no.
Oh, and they turn it over. Scrambling for the ball is Garrett, and it is Wildcat ball. Wow, we got away with one there as Chapman, when he was laying on the ground, touched the ball before it went out of bounds.
Now it's at 23 on the shot clock. Do we only have 3 seconds like the NBA? No, that's not the college rule. We have 10 seconds, right?
Well, whatever it is, we got to get the ball in the front court. I think we only have 3 because FAMU is really pressuring, sending 4 of their 5 players into the front court and into the back court. And
I actually don't know the college rule. I've been around the pro game, more. And, you only get 10 to get across. But the count doesn't reset. Doesn't reset. It's always 10. So they have a 24-second shot clock in the NBA. If you're still in the backcourt at 14, that's a turnover.
Yeah. Well, that's one that's got me too. I'm not sure on that very specific rule, but I think if Coach Theus called this timeout, which he didn't, it's immediate. It's the under-7 media timeout. If it is only 3 seconds to get the ball inbounds,
I don't think
does
it is.
Theus, hypothetical here, does Coach Theus burn one of his 2 remaining timeouts, up 73-58, to advance the ball?
No, he couldn't do that because to advance the ball is only under a certain time on the clock.
Well, we shall see.
We'll find out.
Heavy pressure, full court press. Davis, 2-1, and it is 10 fresh seconds to get the ball across, so you were right.
I didn't think the college had that.
Dyson, baseline, backs up, 3 from the corner, rattled it down. Deshaun Dyson, 6 straight points for him.
Beautiful step back into the open 3-pointer by Deshaun Dyson. Joe French called for the hold.
And that'll be the 9th foul against Bethune-Cookman, still a 1-and-1.
Chapman to the line.
I believe 74 points ties the highest scoring output in conference play this season for Bethune-Cookman. No, that is 77 in the win against Mississippi Valley State. But Bethune-Cookman only 1 point below that, so they will get to their highest scoring output in conference play.
And Deshaun hits that 3. FAMU comes back and makes a free throw, closing the gap to 17.
All we have to do right now is just get across the half-court line and then use all the time we are given every possession. We're not going to do that, though, as Deshaun Dyson flashes through and scores. Nice assist by Garrett.
Nice early offense by the Wildcats. FAMU not getting back efficiently on defense the last couple possessions.
Brown flies to the hoop, and excuse me, that was Smith. He doesn't get it to go. Another transition opportunity. French from the corner. Yes, sir! Joe French knocks it down again.
Again, early offense by the Wildcats to push it and get Joe. Oh.
That's a tough call. It's going to be a block against Marcus, and that's his 4th foul. So now a little bit of foul trouble for the Wildcats. Harmon with 4, Garrett with 4, and I think we're glad we have this 81-59 lead because we can rotate the squad a little bit.
I don't know what else Marcus Garrett could do to defend the basket and hold his position on that.
And the crowd here at Moore Gymnasium agrees with you, and I probably agree with you too if I was able to look at that again.
Noah Marin is a really smart player. We've talked about his basketball IQ, and he certainly took advantage to spin off of Garrett to draw that foul, to get to the line and be able to score without the clock running.
Marin, with that free throw, takes the scoring lead for Florida A&M up to 14 points. Chapman has 13, Tillman 10.
Yeah, and that's double his 7-point-a-game average on the season.
Yeah. Chapman has played with 4 fouls for the majority of this second half. And we said that about one of the women's players for FAMU. I think it was number 5. I don't remember the name of the moment. Dyson in transition. Oh, that would have raised the roof. 2 Florida A&M players run into each other, and Smith picks up Chapman, runs into the front court. Byron Smith is out of steps, got to get the ball away. He does to Tillman.
So they're going to clear it out for Marin to go one-on-one.
Marin against Gudavicius, behind the back dribble, and it's going to be a foul. He ran into somebody in traffic.
Deshaun.
It is Deshaun, you're right. 3rd foul on Dyson, so now Harmon 4, Garrett 4, Dyson 3, Robertson 3. Wildcats are getting a little thin on foul trouble here.
Yeah.
21-point lead, second biggest of the night. It was 23 just a few moments ago at 82-59.
How many of Marin's points are from the free throw line? Almost all of them, right?
Well, he currently 8 of his 14 are from the free throw line. Now 9 of his 15. You can see Kevin Davis a little bit gassed right now. Coach Theus wants to call a play, and Wildcats being a little lackadaisical for trying to get this ball in. Dyson back to Garrett. Marcus against Lewis June. Gets a pick from Gudavicius. 4:45 to go. Wildcats trying to hang on and get to the SWAC tournament. Good offense by Marcus Garrett, and that was dangerous as Lewis June crashed to the ground on top of him.
Yeah, Marcus Garrett went down, and June, when he landed, was going backwards and tripped over Garrett on the ground. He took a hard fall, but he's resilient, bounced right back up. He's ready to play.
First foul on Burnside. Saeed Burnside has only played 3 minutes in the ball game. Great story about Saeed. He is the first man in his family to attend college at any kind. And he is doing so for Florida A&M. McIntyre comes back in replacing French. I wonder how long the leash is going to be on Marcus Garrett, considering he has 4 fouls. Is Theus just going to let him play till he fouls out?
Well, you have Zion on the bench that you can bring him in, so that's probably what Coach Theus is thinking. You don't want him to foul out, but if you do, you bring Zion back.
I don't think Zion Harmon is done seeing the floor tonight. His 27 points leads all scorers. Smith against Gudavicius. Great job by Lucas, and it's turned over by Davis. In transition, Dyson lays it in.
Great defense by Lucas to switch on to the FAMU player, forcing the steal. by Davis from the weak side.
21 points off turnovers for the Wildcats tonight. That one is chucked up by Tillman, and he will go to the line again.
They are just getting to the bucket all that they want and getting to the free throw line. We have to stop fouling.
36 fast break points for Bethune-Cookman tonight, as opposed to just 12 for the Rattlers.
Yeah. Marin coming back in. Let's see who he replaces.
And Robertson coming back in. He has 3 fouls, but they need his interior presences. Lucas Gudovicius, he's been playing the 4 with Davis at the 5.
Yeah.
And Lucas, even though he is 6'11", I think, yeah, listed at 6'11", he's more of a guard with skills-wise.
Oh, he's very good, yeah, sure.
So he's not really that accustomed to playing.
So Marin
forward.
in for Smith, which gives them a bigger guard, and they'll go at Joe French every chance they get.
Marin missed the second one. Foul on the floor against Davis, and that's his 3rd foul.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, no, it's against...
No, it was against Davis.
It was against Davis, so that's... Funnily enough, it doesn't show Davis being on the floor on our big board.
There it is. This is the 4th foul.
4th foul. No, they called it against Robertson. That's his 4th foul. It just went up on my stat sheet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was saying Davis, but in my head, I meant Robinson. Yes.
Yeah, as Davis is on the bench for Robertson, they left Gudovicius in the game. I thought they would take Gudovicius out for Robinson. But
so they missed both of the other ones, and now they're to the line shooting 2 more. It's a bad break.
Saeed Burnside, 50% free throw shooter on the season.
FAMU is crashing the boards hard.
Robertson skies for that one, though. Slow it down, boys. Keep possession. Drain that clock. Garrett gets the screen. Dyson out high against Tillman. Dyson. Everybody clears out, and he turns the ball over. Dribbled it off his foot. Tillman. Mismatch from Marin now in transition. Easy lay-in. And it's a 20-point game. 84-64. Wildcats still in full control with 3:30 to go. French gets pushed in the back by Marin. They might call that one on Lewis June, too. I'm not sure who they're going to call the foul.
It's got to be Marin.
It is Marin. That's only his 3rd foul, though. He's done well staying out of foul trouble.
Again, I don't know why he made that foul. He did not have a chance to steal that ball.
Final media timeout of the game. Stay up to date with everything Bethune-Cookman Athletics by checking out the Wildcats on social media. Give BCU Athletics a like on Facebook and follow the Wildcats on Twitter and Instagram at BCU Athletics. For the latest on BCU men's basketball, follow at BCU Hoops on Twitter and Instagram. We'll be wanting to follow those social channels as the Wildcats take on the SWAC tournament for the first time coming up next week.
I know it's the men's game, but can we take a look at the women's standings, because maybe those games have been played as well as ours?
Well, we will go there in a second, but first off, we have a final score from Prairie View, Texas. Prairie View A&M 78, Texas Southern 74. So Prairie View wins. They go to 9-9. We can't catch them. Texas Southern loses. They fall to 7-11. So with a win, Bethune-Cookman would jump them and finish in the 7th spot. If all things hold, they will play Alcorn State in the first round of the tournament, a team that we lost to on the slimmest of margins on a last-second dunk here at Moore Gymnasium, a game we really should have won.
Yeah.
And the Wildcats will be looking for revenge against the Braves.
No doubt about that, Mike.
We will now go to the women's standings. Let's take a look. So let's see if some games have finished on the women's side. BCU obviously defeating Florida A&M 80-69. Grambling State beat Alabama State 62-60. And Southern beat Alabama A&M in an upset victory 66-59. to 53. So
Does that help us?
I don't think so, because those.
Check out the standings.
I will look at the standings momentarily as Joe French is to the line, drains his first one. So Alabama State finishes 12-6. Actually, we have 3 teams at 12-6. Jackson State 16-1. Alabama State, Southern, and Alabama A&M all at 12-6.
And that's the women, everybody. Remember,
yeah, this is the women. This is the women. Prairie View A&M have not played yet, but they can get to 12-6 as well with a win. So we could have a huge log jam at the top. VCU finishes 10-8. They will finish 6th in the standings and play the number 3 seed, which could be anybody.
Anybody that you just named.
Could be anybody.
Depending on the tiebreakers.
Yep. Tillman, 10 to shoot out of steps, works through, nice little rip and finish. But back to the women's, they will play either Alabama State, Southern, Alabama A&M, or Prairie View A&M. The only team of those 4 that the Wildcats have not beaten this season is Southern. So we want to avoid Southern, but everybody else gives the BCU Wildcats an excellent chance to advance to the SWAC semifinals. Under 3 to go here at Moore Gymnasium. Off the ball foul against Tillman. And that's his 4th foul. So we got 2 Rattlers with 4, Tillman and Chapman, and 3 Wildcats with 4, Harmon, Garrett, and Robertson, as both teams are in the double bonus. And once again, if you missed the beginning of this broadcast, this referee crew is working their 2nd game back-to-back. They worked the women's game between BCU and FAMU earlier today, and then, of course, we didn't get a referee crew assigned to this men's game, so all credit to these referees. They're going to have a good night's sleep tonight, I bet, after working 2 games back-to-back. Harmon drains both. 29 points for Zion. The last man to score 30 in this gymnasium for BCU as Marin is fouled to go to the line.
See, now let him go down the lane like that, and then we foul him. Why? Why do we continue to foul? We don't need to foul him. Just come over, help, see if he can make the pressured shot.
And hold on, both teams are being sent back to their benches. I'm not sure why. They're going to check something.
Well, Zion got hit in the mouth. Maybe it's that play that we saw earlier in the year.
Up here, checking for a flagrant?
Maybe.
Well, we'll let them sort that out while we discuss BCU history. The last time a Bethune-Cookman Wildcat scored 30 points in Moore Gymnasium, it was Brandon Stewart, who had 32 against Trinity Baptist in January of 2015.
You know, before you said that, Mike, that would have been my guess that it would have been Brandon Stewart in 2015.
Before both of us were paying attention to BCU athletics, so I don't think any of us would have got that. But you know who was paying attention back then? Dan Ryan. He just texted me that stat. Thank you so much, Dan.
Dan Ryan, the expert in all things Bethune-Cookman University. If you guys don't know who Dan Ryan is, he's such a vital part of the Bethune-Cookman University athletic department. He's been around, I'm not even sure how many years as an employee, but he's got a memory like a steel drum, and then he's quick on the things that he doesn't know. He can research and find them, and he's brilliant to get you that stat.
So Dylan Robertson has fouled out. That was his 5th foul that sends Marin to the line right now. I'm not sure, again, what they're checking at the monitor, but I guess we're going to see Davis back to the 5 and then Gudavicius back in.
Yeah, they're checking to see
unfortunately, Robertson has fouled out on senior day. And this will be
they're letting him in the game. Are we sure it was on Dylan?
Well, I think that might be what they're checking to see who the foul was on. Because Marin is going to go to the line. And they're going to send them back to the benches. Again, I can't fathom. We don't have a reference monitor up here where we are. Something that we want to change for next year. But we do not know what they are checking. I think it is who the foul is on because they're letting Robertson remain on the court, even though it shows him as having 5 fouls.
So they're getting a third opinion from the other official. So it's obviously something very close to get the input of the third official, sort of the tiebreaker.
As we said during the last timeout, Bethune-Cookman with this 22-point lead will get to the SWAC tournament. They will be the 7 seed. That will not change depending on results elsewhere. They will play either Alcorn State or Grambling. If both of them have the same result today, they'll play Alcorn. If Grambling loses and Alcorn wins, they'll play Grambling.
Yeah. Yeah, fascinating, like we've talked about many times on these broadcasts, is just how narrow the SWAC is, that all these teams, top to bottom, any night, anybody could win, and it's just a really close game, and it comes down in the standings.
So the last foul was attributed to Kevin Davis, not Robertson. That's what they were looking at the monitor. So Davis now has 3 fouls. Robertson continues with 4. That's huge.
Wow. This young man at the line has been shooting Marin free throws so well, and he shot an air ball on that one. I'm guessing this one goes in.
No, he missed them both. And Davis makes up for the foul by grabbing the rebound. Wow, an uncharacteristic double miss by Marin. He was 10 of 11 previously.
Maybe he sat too long. He cooled off, right? I mean, during that long review by the officials.
Maybe. Deshaun Dyson rolls high off the glass. Oh, Robertson wanted to follow it up with a slam. This is going to lead to an easy bucket the other way from Marin.
I knew Marin would not give that up, and so did Marcus Garrett.
20-point lead for the Wildcats. Just not lose our heads here. And Zion Harmon not on the floor. I think
he got hit in the mouth.
Well, yeah, and if he doesn't come back in the game, he's going to end up 1 point shy of 30, meaning Dan Ryan's stat is not relevant. Sorry, Dan.
Sometimes those elbows, even though they're...
Dyson, catch and shoot. That was a tough shot. End of the shot clock, he had to catch it high and then just kind of flick it towards the net.
He had an extra second, but he made the right call because he didn't realize.
Marin drives, puts it up off the underside of the rim, and then Burnside is fouled. And Robertson this time will foul out on senior day. But an excellent performance today by Robertson. 7 points, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks.
And really great help defense. He really helped balance us on offense once we got it going a little bit. Just a very high basketball IQ by Dylan Robinson to help our offense generate 88 points tonight.
Zion is going to come back in the game, and Lucas Goodavicius replaces Robertson. Dylan Robertson leaves the floor at Moore Gymnasium for the final time. A tremendous servant to this program over the last 2 years. I've really enjoyed watching him play. Unfortunately, injuries have kept him off the floor more times than he would have liked, but when he's on the floor, he is an electric scorer, an electric rim defender. And Burnside high points the ball, and then Zion stripped it, but Burnside got it right back.
Yeah, and he knocked Zion to the ground and no call.
Davis off the missed layup by Burnside. 1:07 to go. Harmon back on the floor. Let's see if they give it to number 1 just to try and get him past 30 points for the second time this season.
I don't know that Coach Theus would know that or even coach to that.
I'm not sure they would, but we'll see. Dyson, step back. He's now got to get the ball away.
The reason that happens in the NBA is because in those big arenas, the scores are up on the, you can see.
Well, the score is up here, but it's at the side of the floor that Bethune-Cookman is not attacking. They do have 30 points for Zion on the big board, although my stats, which I trust more,
Zion fouls out.
It has 29, and Zion fouls out, ending a tremendous freshman season for Zion Harmon. 29 points tonight, meaning he finishes with 419 points on the regular season. What a performance from him.
Yeah, and the crowd gives nice round of applause. Kevin Davis comes out of the game. Marcus Garrett comes out. Zion comes out because of foul trouble. And this Bethune-Cookman crowd gives them all a nice round of applause, appreciative of their performance tonight to get the Wildcats what looks to be a solid win.
Freshman Simeon Womack in the game. Lead down to 18 as Theus calls a timeout, up by 18 with 35 seconds to go.
He wants to make sure that we don't embarrass ourselves against this full court press. So he's got an unusual combination of players on the floor right now, so he wants to make sure they understand their roles against this pressure is what Coach Theus is doing. Good coaching by him.
Yeah. Simeon Womack, the freshman, has entered the game for Bethune-Cookman. He's from Jacksonville, played at Victory Rock Prep, and before that, West Nassau High School. He's got one of the best nicknames of any basketball player that I've ever known. His name is Simi Automatic.
Simi Automatic. Good call on that one.
Averaged 17 points at Victory Rock Prep in a post-grad year and hasn't seen the floor much this season. Only 1 point, and that was at the free throw line.
Yeah, he's got good size and a good future in a Bethune-Cookman University Wildcat. He'll be able to, as he grows in his playing experience through practice and games, he'll be able to contribute to a good Bethune-Cookman University team under Coach Reggie Theus and his coaching
And this
staff.
is a team going forward next year. Yes, we're losing Marcus Garrett and Dylan Robertson and Kevin Davis, who have been tremendous players for us over the last 2 years. But Joe French is coming back for his senior season. Elijah Hulsey, who has been out for most of the year, hopefully is our starting center of the future. We've got James Henderson, who's developed a ton at center this year. And then a lot of the freshmen who haven't played a lot this year, names like Jason Matthews, Kawan, Simeon Womack, Trayvon Barbary, all exciting names that will be huge for the Wildcats next year if they decide to stick around. One shot left in the game for the Wildcats with a 5-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock, and the Wildcats may just take a shot clock violation
good sportsmanship by FAMU to back off.
Dyson fires a long three, missed it, and Gudavicius actually got the rebound, lost it to Chris Peterson, who steps onto the floor for the first time tonight. He rarely plays this season, so a couple of bench players for both sides. Alex Andrews in the game for FAMU. Marcus Stamps in the game for the Rattlers. A lot of players that don't get to play very much this season, as it's another timeout for Reggie Theus, and we get another 60 seconds to wax poetic here.
Yeah, so Coach Theus is drawing up a play. He probably wants to get one of the bench players who doesn't play very often a chance to score here in the last 6 seconds.
I think it's Rattler ball, isn't it?
No, it's our ball.
It's our ball?
They stepped out of bounds. While you were reading, they stepped out of bounds. Trayvon, or Barbary, Simeon forced him out by playing good defense. He took a step back and stepped on the out-of-bounds sideline, out of bounds.
Yep. Well, Bethune-Cookman is going to exercise their demons from the end of last season. They had a chance to make the SWAC tournament last year. All they had to do was beat FAMU. They couldn't do it last game of 2022 season up in Tallahassee, but they have resoundingly beaten the Rattlers twice this year to open up conference play 67-59 and to close conference play currently 88-70, although let's see if the Wildcats will get one more shot at it. It is Simeon Womack who holds the ball. Deshaun Dyson fires a three and finishes with aplomb. Takes the Wildcats up to 91 points, their biggest scoring total of the season, an emphatic victory for the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats to close out the regular season, and we'll see you in Birmingham, BCU. Both teams go. The women's team goes, the men's team goes. It's a fantastic day to be a BCU Wildcat. Here are your final scoring totals for the game. Marin was fantastic for Florida A&M, 20 points on 5 of 7 shooting. He got half of his points at the free throw line, 10 of 13. Tillman and Chapman both had 13. Issa had 6. Lewis, June, and Bates had 5. Bates averaging 10.5. They held him to half of his point total tonight. Smith had 4, Bars 2, Burnside 2. Paul, Williams, Peterson, and Andrews played but did not score. For Bethune-Cookman, what a day for Zion Harmon. 29 points on 9 of 11 shooting, 4 of 6 from 3, 7 of 8 from... thus concludes the broadcasting schedule for basketball season here on the Cat Eye Network. Thank you so much to everybody that makes these broadcasts possible. Darian McCaskill behind the scenes, Leviticus back here who runs cameras for us all season long. Bryce, Scott, and Dan who provide us with all the information we need to bring these broadcasts to you on a weekly basis. The Wildcats, we're not going anywhere. Plenty of baseball and softball action coming up for you over the next 2 months, including softball next week as they get their home opener at Sunnyland Park. So stay tuned to the Cat Eye Network. Lots of good stuff coming up. Eric, it's been an amazing time getting
great season, Mike.
Getting to broadcast with you this season, and let's do it again next year.
Yes, sir. Great season.
For Eric Dennis and the entirety of our broadcast crew and the entirety of Wildcat Nation here at Moore Gymnasium, my name is Michael Turillo. Thank you so much for watching us tonight and all season long. We'll see you next season right here on the Cat Eye Network.